Welcome to DKM episode 29, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you guys, but I have had this itch that I really want to play some old school, how should I say, old school games, multiplayer games, but their servers are down, so they don't really exist unless you enter some sort of special server where they're still up, some
Like a
fan-made
private.
server, yeah, private servers. Another thing as well is seeing some friends who just played like Halo a whole bunch, and now they're going back into Halo because of the Master Chief Collection, because it's offered on Game Pass. So they're going in. They're what's the word? They were rusty, but now they're de-rusting themselves, getting into the game, getting back into the flow of things. And he's invited me a bunch, but I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty because I have a bunch of friends playing Call of Duty. Right? Cool me, right? I prefer Call of Duty over Halo. Whoop-de-doo. But I don't know if you guys have any of those games in mind when it comes to, dang, I really want to play these multiplayer games, but the servers are down, or stuff like that. My friends, he just picked up MCC again, and he's having a blast. He's playing day in, day out. He's even streaming it. So I'm not sure if you guys have that, but for me, it's legit on the original Star Wars Battlefront, but obviously I really can't go back because I don't have the proper equipment for it or the know-how.
Yeah, private servers are kind of a necessity because that's the thing about like when you don't make your games very open accessible to your fan base or to your player base for that matter, you always run the risk of these servers are not always going to be up forever. Eventually at some point the publishing company is going to be like, well, no one's playing our game anymore. People are moved on to the next thing. The servers are going to die. And I think Linus Tech Tips brought that up where, people are bringing up this factor. It's just like, well, what's the point about buying a game if you're not guaranteed that years later someone could run a private server, for
Well,
example?
yeah. I mean, look at Destiny, an all online game. You can't play it if it's offline. So if they ever close the servers for any of the Destiny games, that's it. Those games are dead.
Yeah.
You can throw away
They
the
need,
disc.
at least at that point, if you have to shut down the official servers, then I think at that point you should make it open ended enough to make that your player base can make a private server at that point.
Well, yeah,
Unless
but I'm just saying, think about it. So you would have to buy server space, whoever that individual is, and then they would have
Yeah,
to
but
buy
some
a
people
server
do.
blade
Hell,
in a data center somewhere.
a server computer. Yeah, no, I've met people who had server PCs and for that exact purpose. I've done it for TF2. I've done it for well, this is back like I was about to say like my best case example of like why a private server needs to exist. Before WoW Classic came out, I knew plenty of people that love World of Warcraft, but they don't like the current direction of the game.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I want to play classic WoW. I want to play when skills matter and things
Yeah.
like that. And so there was a big booming market of people making private servers that was recreations of vanilla, TBC, Wrath. And, I remember when JonTron made that video where he was talking about how mad he was that Blizzard, isn't giving us that option, but forcing to shut down private servers because they wanted people to just only play their game. You know what I'm saying?
I think the worst part when it comes to some companies where they're it's no longer it's costly for them. It's no longer profitable for them to get their servers up because it's an older game. So what they do is say, hey, we're gonna close it down completely. And if you don't like it, how about you play the remastered version where the server is still up. The game is only a few years old compared to the original game where it's more than a decade old. How about you just play on that? But people don't really, at least people who originally played the game, they don't want to play the remastered version. They want to play the older version of the game. One good example, at least when it comes to me, is the Dark Souls remastered. I like the game, but when it comes to PvP, it's not my cup of tea. Getting used to all the stuff, all the good and tech moves that in Dark Souls Invasions that you tend to do when it comes to just playing the game. And in the remastered, it doesn't feel right. Obviously, the From Software doesn't really enjoy the PC so much, so a lot of people have to struggle when having From Software games on PC. But when it comes to multiplayer interactions, but even then, I still would love to go back to the original Dark Souls game and going back to do everything, have my builds and everything, being a giant dad if I wanted to, and just doing all the tricks, all the know-hows. But I don't think From Software is really going to shut down the servers until like way later. And then if anyone complains, they go, "Hey, we have a remastered version. How would you play that, you idiot?" So,
Well, there's that.
Just pay
I mean, the
$20.
good thing about that is like you still have the offline portion of the game where you can play it offline. You don't have to play it online.
that's true, but invasions are so fun.
So yeah, I get that. You can do a peer-to-peer hosting instead of having like dedicated servers at that point.
Yeah.
Or if, if you guys remember when LAN was around, when people
Oh,
used to do LAN
jeez.
parties and shit.
I loved it.
Oh
Yeah,
geez,
that-
those are my
that-
favorite.
We need to bring those back. Hopefully, when pandemic ends and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
But
dude. Seriously though, like
that's another
we need
thing
it.
that online games. You think with so many online focused games, you think they would make LAN as like an option, but it's so few and far between. It's practically non-existent.
Well, maybe because we live in the Florida region, and Florida and Texas says, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna reopen like completely because like, hey,
No. I'm not talking about like the scene. I'm talking about like games
No,
themselves.
hold up,
Like,
because people are still doing LAN. A lot of places are really opening up before the pandemic. Obviously, a lot of these places closed down, but then right now they're all opening back up. New locals are opening up. You can still play LAN if you want to. You can even rent out some places where you're like, hey, let's do LAN. A lot of games still offer LAN connection too when it comes to a lot of these newer games. Like, hey, would you like to play a private match? How would you like to play it, or online or through LAN? It's quite interesting that it's into the software. I don't think it's gonna go away anytime soon either. But that is quite fun to know that. Even people just they go, hey, want to play some of insert old school game here, and it's gonna be competitive. Yeah, sure, I don't mind, and let's do that. Even conventions, people do
I'm
that.
looking up the list right now. I mean, like the most recent game, according to this Giant Bomb thing, the most recent game that still supports LAN as of now, as far as like from this article. Because like I'm looking, they got Warcraft 3, StarCraft, GTA 2, Counter-Strike Source, the original Halo Combat Evolve, things like that. Like those games, I vividly remember having a dedicated LAN section in the server browser.
Well, yeah, but Halo CE was also an offline game. There was no online component unless you got it on PC.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that, but I'm talking about just the fact that you have the option to just connect with LAN.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, but there's a lot of
That's what
games
I'm
that are
talking
out there that do that. Like, look at Call of Duty. I mean, technically, you can have a big old LAN party.
yeah, that's
Even
true.
with the new ones. I mean, even what else is there? There's, MCC, there's option for LAN. They actually have a LAN toggle in the settings.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I want a LAN toggle. Okay. Well, that's cool. Well, here's something that recently happened. I've been kind of interested. Did you guys see the Sonic 30th anniversary live stream?
No, but I did know.
No.
I saw that. I saw what was it? I saw something about it. I have no idea what it was. I saw.
The only thing I
Well,
saw
it-
was the Game Gear Micro.
Game
Oh, dude,
Gear
that was
Micro.
wait, that was forever
Game Gear
ago, dude.
Micro.
Kenny,
that
you're really behind.
Yeah.
That's
old.
Yeah.
that I forgot that even thing came out. I remember it didn't do that well.
Have you seen how big it is?
It's not that big.
It didn't. It came out. I wouldn't say not too long ago, but not, hasn't been
Did he-
forever ago.
It came out. Let me double check. 2020 of October.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways,
So that's
yeah,
pretty
the
dang recent.
the Sonic 30th anniversary was announced, and they announced a couple things. Mainly, for one thing though, Sonic Colors is finally getting a re-release, which makes me really happy. I was just talking to your brother Marcos about how I think Sonic Colors, in my opinion, was probably one of the better games to come out of the last decade for the Blue Hedgehog.
100%.
It's kind of
100%.
I think that it is kind of crazy though that it's taken this long for them to finally get at least a modern PC port. Because let's be honest, though, most people, if they wanted to play Sonic Colors, they would just pull up on Dolphin and stuff. But it makes me happy that the game is finally getting a re-release on not only on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and it's also getting a PC release. Unfortunately, though, it is an Epic Game Store exclusive. Deal with the devil in that situation. Yeah, it's a bit lame.
But this is just a PC
they've
re-release, right? Nothing else.
no, it's modern platforms, which is really I'm assuming that it's going to be supported on PS5 and Xbox Series, but I thought that was just kind of neat. I just think that's a little. I don't think it's too late because clearly there's excitement and hype, and this is a remastered. And the one thing is that a lot of people bringing up that it's a $40 remastered, unlike another company that charges you $60 for a slightly prettier version of a Wii game, and then they lock behind a quality
Come on, man, get it out.
Life. I'm sorry, I got my tongue twisted there. Quality of life change through a fucking amiibo purchase, so you got to get that. So that's going to be a hoot and a holler. But yeah, Sonic Colors is getting a re-release. It's going to be $40. It's getting re-released on modern platforms. I'm excited. I'm really looking for it. I've been wanting to replay the game again. Sonic Origins Collection, which is a from what I'm assuming, it is going to be the Taxman mobile ports of Sonic 1, 2, CD, and they finally.
What's Taxman?
Basically speaking, the guys who made Sonic Mania, the best Sonic game that's been out for a couple years now, these guys are like super hardcore Sonic fans that they've rebuilt the classic Sonic games 1, 2, and CD through their own engine, which makes the game have widescreen, run at 60 FPS consistently, runs smooth as butter. Like literally the best way to play. Like to put in perspective, I'm pretty sure you played Sonic 2, Marcos. The special stages with the half pipe. Those run like at silky smooth 60 FPS. Like once you play that, it's impossible to go back to the original Genesis version because not only is it just smoother, but it's a lot less input delay. So that makes me really happy. But the one thing that I'm really happy about the Sonic Origins collection, they finally acknowledged Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Thank goodness.
Really?
This has been way too. Yeah, they finally are adding Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Have you not realized ever since like the Sonic Genesis collection on like the 360 that Sonic 3 has been like rarely been mentioned, or better yet, even rarely re-released now?
That's true.
Every Genesis collection afterwards just completely ignores Sonic
That's
3.
actually true.
You know what's good though about them doing all these remasters and stuff is that the older copies will actually drop in price because of it.
I mean,
a bit,
yeah, but I mean, like, but what will be the reason going back? You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just saying, like, if there's a games collector out there that really wants the game but doesn't want to get the remaster of it and wants to feel the nostalgia of the original, it's going to be cheaper than what it was before because it's more readily available. Why would you want to play on the older console and pay more money to play on the older console than just getting it on the newer console?
Mm-hmm. No, I get you.
So that's
yeah,
why it would drop in price.
I could give you like a perfectly good example. A coworker of mine gave me like the Metroid Prime trilogy. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys remember how very low pressing that thing was.
Yeah.
So as soon as those things sold out, like it was like going up to the $200 range. And he gave it to me, asked me to sell it for him on eBay because I had an eBay account. And he was like, "Can you sell it to me?" I'm like, "Dude, like." The game just got re-released on the Wii U digital eShop. Like, this is not gonna get you that much money. It's like, no, dude's gonna. He's like, no, dude, like that's how video game collecting works. Like, that's how it is when a supply and demand. If people want a lot of copies of it, but the supply is low, then it's gonna dry up, and then people are not gonna get it.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's another thing. But then again, though, video game collecting is pretty fucking stupid because like there's so many stupid shit like affects the value of a game. Like even just putting on a stupid sticker makes it rare apparently. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad I'm not into that hobby anymore.
One thing I will say about all that is you guys are definitely right about the whole it's going to drop in value mainly because of it's no longer scarce in order to play the game. However, you know what isn't scarce? I mean, you know what is scarce? My bad. You know what is scarce? The original game, the original cartridge. Which, albeit the market is lower, but people who do want to play... I don't know, it's like, hey, I want to play this game again the way I played it when I was a kid. That market will still be there, even if something gets re-released. But, yeah. Let's...
So, yeah.
One thing, though, I will say about re-releases is that... And remasters is just... I'm always... Like, in the back of my mind, it's just like, well, are they going to mess this up? Is it going to be a direct one-to-one comparison? Like, is it going to be exactly the same? Or are they really going to, like, screw the pooch up because they want to implement a new mechanic or whatever? Because,
and that's another issue with these remasters, quote unquote. They'll try and switch shit up, and then next thing you know, it's not as good of a game as it was before because they move the camera this way, or something happens.
Or better yet, if you want to get into the worst case scenario, you be like Konami, say, "Hey, mobile game studio that only has worked on mobile games, would you like to, do the HD remasters of our classic Silent Hill games?
Yeah.
Here's the beta code. Fuckwit. Good luck."
Hell freaking yeah, brother. Of course.
Yeah,
Brother.
that to me is what makes it like a bit of a yikes moment, where it's just like you have the better hardware, but you were given such a shitty job at remastering the game that people would rather play the game on a 480p PS2 with the shitty fucking anti-aliasing rather than playing it on an HD system, because it at least doesn't fuck up the atmosphere of your game. So yeah, and to finally wrap that up about the Sonic presentation. So yeah, I'm excited that Sonic 3 Knuckles is finally getting the love and attention deserved, because that game is phenomenal, and I've been wanting that game to get re-released on modern platforms forever. We finally got a teaser, and I mean the vaguest sense of a teaser of Sonic running through the woods, and we are finally getting a new Sonic game in 2022. That's it. That's all it was. And that's it. But have you guys seen this fucking Sonic jewelry by King Ice?
You mean Sonic Chew?
Jewelry?
I'm kidding.
The fucking jewelry, dude. I was losing my fucking shit, man. I'm gonna go ahead and post it in the chat so you guys can see what I'm talking
Someone
about.
made
Well,
a diamond necklace.
no, you need to see this. Like, look at this. Look at this.
Oh yes,
Like-
I've seen it. I've seen the shadow one, and people using it for memes.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
dude, hell yes.
Dude, that's gonna be the fucking
Let me
shit,
guess,
man.
they retail for like what, 120?
I haven't honestly looked up the pricing, honestly, but all I could think about is oh my god, Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah.
just reshoot the film, but just replace the fucking Furby with the,
All right.
the Sonic
This, but Sonic Chew, right?
Sonic Chew. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
So, yeah.
I love Chris Chan. He's so funny.
Christine, remember, we gotta respect
I am
her.
so sorry. Yes, Christine
Chandler. We respect her changes. Anyways, so yeah, they announced a couple little things here and there. They talked about apparently they're gonna do another Sonic cartoon called Sonic Colors: Rise of the Wisps. So that looks kind of neat. Let me see. what else
Honestly,
did they
Sonic
mention?
Boom, the show, is such an amazing, and I mean it, an amazing show. It needs more recognition. It needs more attention, because
So,
that show
The
is...
funny thing is that
What?
I was bringing that up with your brother, where it's just like, man, the best thing about Sonic, like even the worst case games, their media around it is the best thing about
Yeah.
it. Like the Sonic Boom games are fucking awful, but the show was the best thing to come out of it.
Amazing. It's funny. It's witty. It's clever. Like kids who can watch the show can enjoy the show because it's a cartoon show, and that's fine by me. But holy cow, dude, the comedy in there, when you obviously people who are adolescents, teenagers, or adults, they could understand,
Zers.
and even people who are a little bit more into the Sonic lore, into the Sonic, just Sonic universe, just in general. Like, what happened? I think someone was the whole gang was free falling, and then someone said someone's name,
Oh.
and then Sonic
Yeah.
says, "No, that's me," and it was the voice actor responding to.
Yeah, he says he's flying through the. I know it exactly the scene. He's falling through the he's falling from the sky, and he says like, "Yo, Tails, I need a pickup," and he's like, "All right, Sonic, I'm on my way." Roger, and then Knuckles says, "Who's Roger?" That's me.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, this.
Which he's, by the way, Roger Craig Smith is coming back as Sonic.
Oh, nice. In the games?
Yeah, he tweeted out that they brought him back. Like, I remember when when the new Sonic show was coming out, and when they were teasing the 2022 game, the Roger Craig Smith and a bunch of other Sonic voice actors, I think.
Yeah.
The only one I knew that wasn't leaving was Mike Pollock. He's staying. He said that like, "Oh, I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for the years I've been in this franchise, but it was my time to go." And then Roger Craig Smith tweeted out saying like, "Oh, I'm back, by the way."
It's
So,
just, look,
that's pretty
it's
cool.
it's just, the show, it's a masterpiece, especially the relationship between Eggman and everyone else, where he actually gets, like, real. He goes, like, I'm not that bad of a guy, I'm just, I got my own problems. and everyone like for an episode or two, people recognize him as a genuine human being, and I just find that really hilarious that Eggman of all people could just uh, admit his faults and just say, "Hey, it's just me." Sonic Boom is an excellent show. I recommend anyone who you don't have to like Sonic, just watch it if you want to just binge watch something. It's a very funny show, and I really really enjoyed it. I just wish it wasn't just so underrated.
Would you say that it's the best show relating to Sonic the Hedgehog?
I think when it comes to what I'm looking for, I guess in a Sonic or just any cartoon, or yeah, just any cartoon, just how well it does its comedy, how whimsical everyone is. It's greatly written. It's everything about it is hilarious. Although the beginning is a rather slow pacing, regardless, it's still a great show. I haven't watched it in its entirety, but I recommend everyone to pick it up if you want a show or something to watch. But that's one thing about the Sonic games that they really need help with their Sonic games because the shows are doing well. The shows have always done well. The games, not so much.
I used to think that Sonic X was good, but it's actually a massive piece of shit.
I liked it
when I was a kid.
Well, I liked it.
Oh no! Okay, let's be honest. When was the last time you watched it?
About 6 months ago.
6 months? Wow! I give you mad props. I used to think that I used to wake up every morning on a Saturday to fucking watch that on 4Kids. It's bad. It's bad now as I get older. It's
obviously the best arc is the space arc where they go out.
The Japanese only arc that like barely made it like decent. Yeah, I don't know. I was not the biggest fan of it as I get older. At the time, I loved it because, I didn't have a GameCube, so I didn't know anything about Sonic Adventure or Adventure 2. So when I saw those like adaptations like that, oh, this is kind of cool. I get to know the story of the game through the anime.
Right.
Neato. But
which is kind of true.
Yeah, but I fucking hated Chris Thorndike. I thought, what's funny? I think I would have liked the pilot idea way more without the human characters. It would have been so much better. And then there's like the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then there was Sonic Sat AM, which I've never sat down and watched an entire. Actually, you know what? I've never seen an entire episode of any Sonic show aside from Sonic X. Yeah. As far as the Sonic Boom thing, I'm still surprised at how much of a push that was, considering that this was technically a spin-off series, and not only was it a spin-off series, they're gonna make an animated show about it, and they were gonna put all this effort and things like that. But the games are so bad that I'm surprised they were able to follow up with it even for 2 seasons. But if the show is good, it's good. I don't know if it's on any streaming service.
Speaking about the shows, Kenny, is he still there? Oh, I guess not.
Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah, he's
what
still here.
when it comes to the show, the Halo shows, why do people not enjoy it?
I didn't
because
know there was a Halo show.
Yeah, there was Nightfall. I mean, people did like the animated versions, like the movie that they had.
I know of the animated movies.
Yeah,
if that's
they
what
had.
you're talking about.
Well, they
I've
had
seen
the
them.
movies, and then they had the live TV show, which was Nightfall, I think it's called, or something like that. I think it's called Halo Nightfall. I'm just gonna double check my.
No, I think that's the Batman arc.
Wow, you're funny.
I know. I'm so
Yeah,
weird.
it's called Halo Nightfall. It has to do with Agent Locke before he becomes a Spartan.
Okay.
It wasn't liked just because of the fact that people knew that Agent Locke was, going to be going after the Chief, and the fact that they put lore outside of the games. So, normally people prefer the games to be a more enclosed experience. So, when you're...
you don't need to read supplementary material,
Exactly.
right?
So, you won't need the books, you don't need the TV shows, you don't need the comic books, you don't need... they were trying to...
They're self-contained stories.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when they did Halo 4, there was so much exposition in just one... they gave you an info dump in one cutscene. And everybody was sitting there for 5 minutes watching this cutscene and was like, why the heck did we watch this? What did we learn? And why the hell did we zone out? Because it was a lot of information packed into one cutscene rather than spreading it out across all of it. That, and then there was also the Forward Unto Dawn. People did like that TV show, but it didn't focus on the Master Chief. It was more about 2 kids that were think it was I'm looking at the photo right here. I think it's Lieutenant Lasky. Before he was a lieutenant, when he was just a Marine, and some other chick, I can't remember her name, but it was about him like saving them when they were kids, sort of like like young Marines, to put into better words. But yeah, I mean, the TV shows, a lot of people really wanted
Where
a live
did
action
the
movie.
show air? Like, what channel did it air it on?
Oh, it was exclusive to Halo 4, and you had to pre-order Halo 5 in order to get it.
Oh,
Maybe that's probably why.
Yeah, it dropped in.
I could have sworn they released
weekly.
movies, like movies per se. Like
Yeah, they did
quotations.
have movies. There was what was the animated?
Legends.
Yeah, it was Halo Legends.
Wow, this art style is really weird.
Halo Legends.
Wow,
Halo Legends though was probably a much more preferred.
I definitely seen the cover. That's for damn sure, but I never seen it.
Oh, yeah. Cover.
Sometimes it'll go from like the 3D to 2D, and then they try to go for a more anime style animation.
Because everyone, even in America, people love anime.
Yep.
I always thought that was.
I never
funny
watched
because,
it
like,
though,
the same
so I
studio.
wouldn't know.
I'm just looking at some of the screenshots right here. It's funny you mentioned that, Marcos, because it's like the fucking studio that makes the Castlevania anime and the fucking Blood of Zeus show is like a fucking animation studio in Texas, but they still call it an anime.
Well, I mean,
I guess
they
it's just
even
the
got a
art style.
Gundam in this freaking. They got a Gundam in this.
Fuck yeah, Gundam.
Yeah.
I guess
hang
because
on.
we associate it with the art style, because even anime, or anime, or the proper pronunciation, which is anime, right? It's still a cartoon. You can call anime
yeah,
cartoons because they are cartoons. It's just that style, I guess, it's more popular when it comes to the anime scene. So everyone's like, oh, look, they're trying to make an anime. The same thing with Afro Samurai, where an American studio says, hey, we're gonna make a short movie episodes about a story, and this is how we're going to design it. And people think it was an anime, but it's not really an anime. It's just a cartoon. It's just hyper realistic. It's super detailed, as far as you can get when it comes to not recording with actual people. So I guess people just call anything super high quality, super high cartoons animes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just an aesthetic and a visual style, It's like with the Boondocks, for example, that is heavily inspired by anime, and how it was even, and I think it was animated in South Korea, or something like that. I'm still looking forward to that HBO Max reboot, or the 4th season apparently. So
I don't really care. I never really cared about Boondocks. I mean,
well, remember the guy who voice acted the grandpa? He passed, so things are gonna take a little bit more time. So yeah, I think he passed last year. I can't remember when he passed. I can't remember when he passed. I don't think it was because of the virus, but I think it was just health issues in general.
I heard this really weird rumor that they said they want to deep fake the guy's voice into John Witherspoon. There you go.
Very bad idea.
That's a really bad idea. I am not okay with that. Yeah, rest in peace, John Witherspoon. Oh yeah, I remember someone said this thing that King Batch was apparently gonna do the voice of Granddad. I hope not. I really, really hope not.
King Batch was already going to be in this show as a voice actor, but I mean, people can do voice acting just fine. I mean, obviously, it's better than deep faking someone, bringing back their voice and then just, putting pieces together and all that. I mean,
okay. Well, actually, correction. Yeah, he's not gonna do it. Yeah, he clarified it. He just tweeted out saying, like, yeah, no, that's not correct.
Mm-hmm. I just think that when it comes to voice acting, I mean, there are a lot of creative people out there who are very, very talented, so they can do stuff like that, and they can just take someone's voice and just mimic it. I mean, with enough practice and repetition, you can.
Well, look at the guy the lead singer of Journey.
I don't know what you're.
It's he's an Asian dude. I forgot his name now. But yeah, the lead singer of Journey from back in the day, like the original lead singer, he passed away, and they got a new lead singer.
Mm-hmm.
And the new guy sounds exactly like him.
Steve.
Yeah, so it's not that hard to believe. I mean, you're not trying to. One thing I didn't like back then when it was released, even now I like it even more. I like it even less. Was when they did the hologram of Tupac Shakur, and it was kind of like, eh. I mean, it brought in a good amount of money, but people, it's not that popular of a thing because I think they tried doing it with MJ. I'm not sure if they did. Okay, yeah. I never liked it. It was
So
weird.
here's the new lead singer of Journey is Arnold Camper. Or no, Arnold Pandia. It's an Asian guy.
Since 2007.
Yeah, and the guy sounds identical to Steven. What's his name? Jeez.
Steve Perry.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, Stephen Ray Perry.
Okay.
So.
Well, yeah, so that clears that up. So we're gonna. I'm looking forward to that new Boondocks. If anything, I just wanted to hopefully recover because season 3 of the Boondocks was fucking awful. It was just not season 3, season 4 of the Boondocks was just really, really, really bad.
I don't recall which one season 4, which one wasn't.
You could tell because the original writer left by that point. He left. Even John Witherspoon himself said that, like, yeah, the quality was really bad. There were, it was written by a bunch of other guys because the original writer left to go do Black Jesus, which I don't think it took off anywhere. It just became incredibly formulaic. Basically, the whole shtick was that, like, oh, now Granddad's broke. We gotta make money, and it was that over and over and over again. It was just like very deflating. You could tell when like the original writer isn't there and the new team is just not giving it their best. So I just want it to exist so it hopefully makes it good. At least ends the Boondocks on a good note.
I don't think I've seen it, honestly. Maybe I have. I just don't know too much about it.
I'm pretty sure people, even Adult Swim, knew that the new season was bad, so they just re-aired like season 2 and 3 over and over again.
Oh, I've seen episode 1. Episode 1 was pretty funny. I liked it.
Afterwards, it's not that good.
I have to see.
But that's just my take on the matter. We'll just have to wait and see until the next season rolls out. Anyways, what's been going on with you guys?
Oh, well, to finish up with the whole topic with voice actors, I mean, if they can find a replacement, that's fine. But obviously, just give respects to the original voice actor, which a lot of people do. Like when a movie gets released or a video game gets released, and someone passes in the making, and they say, "Oh, in memory of yada yada yada." Like even in video games, and much of the credit scenes at the very very bottom, it says in credit in for the memory of so and so, and then they give a small little description and they give respects. So
yeah, of course. I mean, like the one of the sisters from Resident Evil 8. Unfortunately, though, the voice actress passed away fairly early on when the game was first revealed. But by that point,
are you talking about the one in the trailer where she was a model for one of the sisters?
Yeah, or she was a voice actress
as well.
Might have been
she
both.
Was yeah, she both, and then she passed. I think it was some sort of cancer. I can't remember.
Yeah, but by that point, the game wasn't even out yet. But I'm assuming they already got like her dialogue and her motion already recorded, so they still kept her in place. They just she just unfortunately passed away, and I'm pretty sure you guys know Uncle Io from fucking Avatar. That's a good example.
Iroh, Jesus. Yeah.
So that's like a good example right there. Like they pay respects by never singing that song again, because the original voice actor did it so well that he doesn't want to ever trample that memory.
But I think they used the character again after obviously the Avatar: The Last Airbender. That was his last appearance, the voice actor, when it came to the Avatar. But they used Uncle Iroh again in Korra, The Legend of Korra, but the voice obviously sounded different. It was very very similar, but it was different.
Yeah, it's a different voice actor.
Because he passed. One thing I will say about voice acting in general, and you guys can even practice it. Let's just say your favorite actor is, I don't know, Morgan Freeman, right? And you find one specific word that you can mimic in his voice, or similar to his voice. You keep practicing in that way, that word over and over and over and over again, until you're like, huh, okay, I think I got this word exactly how he would say it. Now, you would move on to like maybe another word or a sentence, and just slowly practice it. Like you're basically working at a muscle, your vocal cords. And these voice actors, these people who mimic other voice actors or just celebrities, they do this day in and day out, and they really do get the voice almost down to a T, to the point where they can even rap along with the people who mimic the voice of Biggie, of Tupac, of Snoop, of Eminem, and yada yada yada, and all these people, where they can just flow on the beat using the voices of rappers throughout history. And it's quite fascinating, actually. It's just a lot of concentration, and you can see just voice actors in general, how they really commit to the characters, or just people who play specific characters in movies or in video games. They just get really into the character. I mean, even look at Heath Ledger. Even though he was playing a character, that role essentially took his life because of how dedicated he was to it. And it's an art, dude. A lot of people could say, "Oh, don't go into this field because it doesn't make you money, or it's not a stable job, or yada yada yada, because it's in the arts." I mean, but these are the same people who complain about all this stuff, but then they listen to music, they watch a whole bunch of movies when it comes out, the moment it comes out. It's just it's incredible what hard work can get you. Work can get you, and how you can do it. It's just phenomenal.
Actually, I want to build off on that because it's been something that's been on my mind as of late. Have you guys ever like seen any like disdain towards like video game streamers, like people that don't, like say like, "Ugh, you want to be a streamer? Oh, you want to play video games for a living, nerd?"
Boomers. That's
Boomers.
That's it.
Okay.
I mean, boomers are the only people that are like that, really.
But you can even look at it as a cultural thing or a societal thing, where
That's what it was.
right. So they view it as a, hey, you're gonna do something that doesn't involve. I'm just assuming here, but it involves things of not working hard or not doing physical labor and yada yada yada. Moving on to the trend of being popular, being just out in the public, where these folks of different generations grew up in a society or in a culture or in a home even, where they are more secluded, they're more private, and you're to yourself, which makes sense. You wanted to throw yourself out there to see if you can become an internet celebrity, and I think it's just a generational gap thing that doesn't really translate well to them. But all I know is that even people of older generations, once you talk through it over, people eventually they'll come to understand. But yeah, I can agree with Kenny. Older generations tend to just look at you weird, saying, "Oh, you want to be a streamer?"
Okay, well, the reason why I bring that up is because I thought about there was this comment that someone said that really kind of like resonated with me, or like kind of like hit me. It's when people say that like being a video game streamer is like being the internet hobo who sits on a subway train like station, clapping his hands, hoping that someone will, generously donate money to you because you don't want to work at a job, and I think it boils down to a lot of things. I think that there's a lot of this idea that, people look at like celebrities or successful people. They don't see like the hard work leading up to that point. They think they're like, "Oh, this guy like plays basketball for a living, and that he makes millions and millions of dollars, but I break my back working for a boss, and I could barely scrape on by." Or people are not happy with their lot in life, so when they see someone else succeeding or someone else wanting to succeed, they'll be like putting them down because then they don't want that person to succeed as well. It's like the crabs in the bucket situation. Like they don't do, the only thing a crab could do in a bucket with other crabs is just pull the other crab down as it's trying to climb out. And I think that's an important thing. I think that everybody in this world has a purpose or has something they want to do with their life, and they just got to find it, rather than just being bitter and being like, oh, you know, you want to play video games for a living, you need to go work at the factory because that's what everyone else is doing. It's like, you don't have to do that. You could break out of that mold easily. You just got to find out what makes you different, or what you're really good at and what you really care about. If you like working in a factory, that's perfectly fine. But people who are happy with their lot in life usually don't care what other people are doing with their lot in lives.
Yep.
One thing I will say though, before I move on with just to talk about your topic, I don't like professional sports because it's kind of dumb, but that's just my take on it. Which I can understand why people complain about. Oh, why are these people getting paid millions and millions of dollars because they get to pass around a ball? Where I'm working, insert job here, right? White collar, blue collar, whatever collar job here. It's just as simple of if there's money being circulated in that industry, and how do I maintain that industry to that capital level, or even get it even higher, so in order I can give payments to everyone else. But it is what it is. People, I even look at someone who wants to be a streamer, and I or podcasts, ironically enough,
or YouTuber,
ironically enough,
influencer.
exactly us.
So I, even then, when it comes to this podcast, and I said it before in previous episodes, I was the one who was invited onto this, into this podcast idea, because originally Daniel was doing his podcast, but that went differently than he expected. So I didn't care so much about being in the podcast industry, but I'm enjoying it. I am truly enjoying it, just talking, rambling, just talking with friends. And one thing that I ask a bunch of people when it comes to, like, why do you want to live stream? Is it because you want to get big? Then you're probably going to burn out, and you're probably not going to do well, statistically speaking. But if you just want to stream, just to have people enjoy your company, just enjoy you, it is what it is. Recently, I want to say last week or this week, I can't remember when it was, I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I saw someone with the TTV as their clan tag in Modern Warfare, and we beat them.
So you grief.
Me and my friend beat them in this Call of Duty match, and he says, "Oh, GG's." And then I said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to your channel right now, and I'm gonna follow you." And he goes, "Oh, cool, thanks, man." So I started watching his stream, and I watched it for like a good hour. And he's a real chill dude. He only had like 10 viewers at a time, but even then, he was a small channel, and I enjoyed it a lot. His personality was great. He was drinking on stream. His room, his gaming room, how it was set up, it was quite nice. It was quite aesthetically pleasing to me. But he only streams because he wanted to stream. He doesn't want the stream to become big. He just enjoys recording his adventures and stuff. So if you're gonna stream because you want to make it big, I'm gonna look at you down. I'm gonna look down on you, to tell you the truth. If you want to be really, really big,
I mean, that's not a nice way to put it, but okay.
I'm just
I don't know, man, because like when people say they're like, oh, I don't care, I'm just being humble, it's like, if you didn't really care, you wouldn't be putting your shit out in the first place.
That wouldn't be true at all either. I think that's incorrect, because if you just want to stream just because you have the capacity to stream, because I can stream my stuff on my Xbox, I could stream to Twitch without any other, I just gotta hit a button to say, hey, stream, put a title, sure, put a title, and that's it. And I can do that. It's not that hard. I did it once.
Yeah, but that's a difference though. If someone wants to be a streamer, then yes, you would stream because that's what you want to do.
Right.
If you just stream for the hell of it, then that's fine. But if you're just putting something out there and you're saying you don't really care, then the only thing I would tell you is that then why would you put it out there in the first place?
I think it's also the mentality is like, you do this because you want to do it.
I mean, you should, if you are with the intention of I want to be a streamer and I want to grow, then that should be a good mindset. I don't think yet, because that's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point, that, you know,
because some people just want to be the next PewDiePie, the next Ninja, the next the Paul brothers, the next this and that, and that's the mentality.
Yeah, but that's all
I look down on mostly, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, no, I get that. My biggest, and I think that brings up my original point where I said like why people don't like streamers is that, you know, how many times have we seen the cringy female streamer wants to say like, $5, guys, come on, is it too much money for you? You guys are watching my Twitch streams and you don't give me any money. Like, that's probably why it's another bad look for us, because, you know, they'll see someone like me who has a little donate button, Just be like, hey, if you want to support me, go for it. That, more money goes back into the streaming, that improves the quality for this and that. But yet they'll associate that humbleness with also a bunch of other streamers will be like, guys, I need some fucking money, I need some fucking subscribers. If not, I'm gonna raise some fucking hell. And it makes us look bad as like, how many other professions out there where someone demands another person to give me your money?
Was it Wings
You
of
know what I'm
Redemption
saying?
like that at one point on his streams?
Yeah, of course. Oh, him plenty of
Yeah.
times. Absolutely. He will flat out tell people like, I need to make X number of subscriptions. and
Yeah.
this and that. And not just him. It's Darkside Phil. It's other girl streamers.
it's
it's a
all-
lot
I
of
was
people
about
out
to
there.
say that I think also it depends on the gender of the person who's recording, the sex, whatever you want to use. Because if they're female or if they're male, I think I'm gonna give them different responses as well. Because obviously the market for female streamers, albeit the supply is huge, the demand is still even higher. Because you can oversaturate the market with female streamers, and it looks like you can never ever.
I mean, you could oversaturate it with other things.
But here's the
too.
thing, though. Like even our last week's episode with the hot tub streams, there was a whole bunch of streamers doing that, and everyone who did it saw success. Virtually everyone who did the hot tub stream saw success, whether it be people following them or them getting more revenue with ads. Look, it was big. It was bigger for them in contrast to people who are guys. Obviously, if you're streaming, you're going to be a female, then that's going to be a different talk, I guess, because they'll see greater success even though they just want to play video games because they see girl gamer, right? You even know that in typical Call of Duty lobbies when they hear female just talking, a lot of guys just gear their attention towards that girl because it's a girl gamer, right? You're like, oh wow, look at this. It's an oddity. It's a rare diamond of sorts because women don't play video games.
Did you get a what is silly girl kitchens for females, things like that?
Right.
Super
So
sexy shit like that.
like obviously, with my reservation towards Twitch. If you're gonna be a dude streaming, you gotta really stand out or supply something different to the market, not something crazy different. I'm talking about something that you can do because you enjoy. Like I don't know, something like, hey, I'm gonna attempt to do world record or world record attempts on certain things, and eventually people will start going to your channel because you're putting in the effort. But when it comes to female streamers, it's just, hey, I'm gonna do the same amount of work as these other people are doing, but I'm gonna see just a little bit of attention more just because of the label of me being a girl streamer. It's the world we live in. It is what it is. I'm not mad at it. Those are the cards that we were dealt with, and I'm gonna play with them. It's fine by me. But even then, it's just if you're gonna start out streaming, sure, go do your thing. Just make sure to, when you starting to get some success, don't quit your job, your main source of income.
No.
Please don't.
No.
Please enjoy.
Or better yet, don't quit your job to pursue streaming because that's not how that's gonna work. If you go into streaming expecting you're gonna make money at the very beginning, boy, you're going this completely the wrong way.
You gotta calm down.
You got to set those expectations as low as possible, and I mean, you have
one
to
viewer per stream, sort of low,
if you're even lucky. You gotta set your expectations, and that's why I bring that up. Where it's like, I brought that up with the last episode with the whole thing with Ninja. Like everybody was just seeing Ninja, video gamer, plays video games, gets millions of dollars. They associate the terminology, but they don't look at the context or the history leading up to it. Like I'm pretty sure half the people that shit talk on Ninja, do you even know that the guy used to play competitive Halo? And I didn't know about that
crazy.
either. I had to learn about that later. I was like, oh, this guy, he wasn't just a Fortnite guy. Like he, even he had some down times when he had that eye surgery and his viewership drastically went down. I mean, it's just those things that people don't take in consideration. And I was talking about that with another friend who is a streamer. He says that people associate that because you're a streamer, you work your hours and things like that, that you don't have personal things to deal with. You don't have house situations, family situations, things like that. Just because you don't work the 9 to 5 doesn't mean you're not busy, or hell, you probably could be even working more doing what you're doing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Allow me to reiterate what I mean. If you want to be a successful streamer, that's something different. If you want to be a big streamer, one of the Twitch promotes you on
Top
everyone's channel because you're big.
Mm-hmm.
That I see that as a different mindset because you got to start with baby steps, obviously. So it's just if you just want to
It's
be a
gonna happen
successful streamer,
naturally.
right? Probably.
Assuming that you don't get fucked with,
Exactly,
or
you
you
get shadow banned, or you get what would be another thing?
your encoding options fucked or something.
Yeah,
like that. I remember that was a big issue.
there's also shoot, I'm trying to think of it right now.
I got you, Kenny. I got you, dude. What if 12
When
years ago
people
you said a stupid tweet or a stupid
Yeah,
Facebook
exactly.
cancel?
There you go. There you go.
Things like things like that are could affect you. But yeah, no, I think that if you came up to me today and you say, hey, I want to shelve the 9 to 5 and pursue streaming or video games or music or things like that, I just say like, all right, man, if that's what makes you happy, then go for it. I just think that if you still got bills to pay because you're a grown ass adult, you need to put on the big boy pants, work your fucking job, and pay your bills, and then do what makes you happy afterwards.
What are big boy
Work
pants?
on some.
I've been wearing
it's the
diapers
pants that you
since
need-
I was 2, and I haven't stopped.
Well, you started at 2, so why stop now, right?
mean,
But you
Like,
started at
why-
2?
why run-
Dang. Everything before that was a mess, I can imagine.
You just shit the
Bro.
floor. Just
Assert dominance.
And rolled up
just mark your territory everywhere.
with a turd, absolutely.
But yeah, I just think that's just interesting because it's like, what's different than like, oh, I want to be a poet, I want to be a guitar player, I want to be, because people are going to be bitter about that. They're going to be like, oh, you just want to take it easy. You don't want to. You think you're too good, and that's like, no, man, you're just trading in different work at that point.
Yeah.
You're not zoning out working at a factory or working at a 9 to
Yeah,
5.
turning
that you
your
hate.
brain off,
you know.
pretty much. That's what you do. You turn your brain off, and then you go to work.
I love the
And
I
then
love
they-
the boomer jokes of like the dude hating his wife because boomers, right? They just hate their wife, how they nags and stuff. It's they don't understand that it's also hard work. Like I'd be
Yeah, because they don't associate.
yeah,
it.
I'm sure they know that when it comes to being a professional athlete, it's a lot of work because you could see it. You could see it in the results. You could see it before the results. You could see it before when people are in high school or in college, university, that they're really, really pushing themselves in order to get, put a name out there, their name out there. However, when it comes to, being a big streamer, it is what it is. You don't see, for the most part, people's hardships if you just get to know them. You'll see them as they are now. You don't know what they went through the 2008 crisis with the housing market crash. You don't know what they went through if they were homeless for a bit. It is what it is, and honestly, it's none of your business. And you just know them now. Deal with this person now, and then hopefully, when in the future, you'll still know them then. And when that's the case, they'll be even more successful, and you can have a friend who has a great message to point out, saying, "Hey, look, I wanted to do streaming. This is how I did it. I got lucky here and there, but this is what I did. This is the mindset I had, and yada yada yada." Even in conventions.
Oh, or better yet, when people get into that sort of thing, they don't believe they don't believe it when you tell them it's work. Like you tell them that, like, yeah, it's work. Like, oh, really? I thought I just sit on my ass and I start pulling the millions.
Like starting a business,
No, it
someone
was never-
like thinks
it's
that
never
like
gonna be
starting a
like that.
business. People don't know that when you start a business, sometimes when it's starting to get somewhat successful, you have to work 80 to 100 hours a week, and by a week I mean all 7 days. And people don't understand that. Hey, it is what it is. When you're trying to make a successful business, then guess what? 10 years later, then you'll be able to hire enough managers, enough employees, where you can work 20 hours a week.
Or even
Yeah,
less.
pretty much. That's my point. Like people don't, like I said, people see the success, but they don't see the work leading up to it, and then they just associate that as lazy. I'm like, no, like clearly there's work put up to it to get up to that point.
Yeah.
You don't just suddenly get to the top of the mountain. You have to start from the fucking bottom, groveling your way to the point to the top.
Basically, that was a great example, but the mountain is the getting over it game. That's the business. Which getting over it by, what was it, Bennett Foddy? That was the game, right? That's the title. How difficult the game is, how easily you can be reset.
I forgot about that. Yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
The getting over it. That game, if anything, sure, you could be upset because, hey, I tried to do this and it didn't work. Much like with Daniel's comparison, hey, yeah, you got to start at the bottom of the mountain, start climbing to the top. Exactly like in getting over it. It's not the easiest task. It's very tedious. It's very annoying.
Though I will give precedent though. If you know what my favorite thing I like to read is like these articles to be like, I own an apartment complex at only 26. This is how I did it, and it's like, all right, here we go. This is the part, right? I started out with a small little loan from my rich parents. It's like,
there it is.
Okay,
Yeah,
there it is.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that explains it. All right, there we go. Wrap it up, folks. There's no secret to this one. He's not breaking out the rat race that easy.
Or when someone says, "Oh, homeowners at age of 23," and it's just two couples,
Yeah.
and then at first
I was actually
like,
a homeowner at the age of 21.
wait, hold up. At first, I was like, "Dang, look at these kids thinking that because they got their parents' money, they can pay off their house and everything." But then I remember,
Yeah.
wait a minute, if you go to Kansas, man, the houses there are cheap, real cheap.
Yeah, but then you
Hella
got to start
cheap.
talking like Kansas, man.
Well, if you
Can't
even
be
want
talking
to.
like you're not from there. Don't tell you what.
Can be talking like them city folk.
Even
No,
then,
but
just,
seriously,
there's
like,
a lot of places out there that are super cheap to rent and own.
Yeah.
And just
But even here in Florida, I bought a house. I mean, come on.
Yeah, anybody
At
could buy
the
a
age
house.
of
but,
21. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anybody could get into a mortgage, but like how many people could like honestly pay it off? That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
oh well, we're paying it off by selling it. So yeah.
Yeah.
you'll see what-
Case in point,
you
exactly.
see,
Like-
that's a cop out. Obviously,
No, it's not
Yeah,
a cop
it's
out.
like, hey,
It's
guys,
just
I got
we don't
a-
want
I
it.
got a
any-
lamb-
We don't want it anymore.
Hey, man, I got a Lambo. Cool. I just have to work 70 hours now to barely make the minimum.
No,
payment for
but
it. Like,
seriously,
yeah,
like we could have paid it off. It's not the issue. It was
no, I'm not challenging you, Kenny, but my point is though is that anybody could get into
Right.
buying something, quote
Right.
unquote. But then it's like, okay, cool. Can you honestly pay it off? Like, it's like leasing a car. It's the dumbest way to operate a vehicle because you are paying extra to get a car that isn't even yours, but you're just essentially renting it.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's your car, but is it really though? Is it really?
Yeah, it's more of a mentality like, hey, what are you gonna do with it? What is your future with this price or this thing? Like, if you want to rent,
To me, a car is mine if I paid it in full and it's mine and the title is
right,
mine.
right. But I'm talking about for
And-
houses. If you want to stay
That
there
too.
only for a year, rent. If you want to do it for 3 years or less, lease. Maybe a little bit, maybe 4 years, but just lease because of the inflation, the market, and all that stuff. But if you're gonna stay there for longer, you might as well just buy it. You might as well just not buy it, but like go
Yeah,
into the
at that
process
point,
of
you
owning
can at least
it.
still sell the
Own
house.
it, right.
It's not like after you buy the house, you can't sell it.
But even with cars, like if you're gonna be the type of guy who just like, hey, I don't care, it's not my car, it's the dealership's car. I'm only gonna be driving a certain amount of miles per year, and I'm not gonna be. I don't really care for this car. I want a newer car when it comes out. Sure, you can lease. You can drive it into the ground if you want because it's not your car. But me being me, I don't like that. I like working on my cars. I like doing my own things. I like changing my own oil. I like doing all sorts of things. And
You're
it is what it
weirdo.
is. That's why I like owning my own thing. That's
Yeah.
why I have my 2004 car, and it's quite enjoyable just working on it. Although here in
Yeah.
Florida, the heat is kind of annoying to deal with that. But even then, just working on the insides, that's something I can't do when leasing. Something as simple as, hey, I don't want to drive 10 miles to go to a dealership where I can just change the oil in 10 minutes. You know? It's
Yeah.
no, I don't know. I'm sorry. Explain that to me.
It's honestly one of those things where I'm just like, do I want the convenience in like the bigger picture when it comes to like, hey, any small thing I could take it to the dealership and pay a small dealership fee, or I can just do my own thing. I can replace things. I can modify it anything the way I want to because I can. It's just it's just that. So I think to close it, at least to close my whole rant is the economy's going to collapse anyways. Who cares? Who cares?
Pull out. Invest in
Pull
toilet.
out.
Invest in Dogecoin.
Oh,
Who
actually,
cares?
right now is a good time to be selling houses. Anyways, don't take any of my advice as like a legal or financial advisor. But right now is a really good time to sell your house because the market has exploded.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think your house is worth, I don't know, let's say $250,000, you can bump that up an extra $200,000 to make it, what is it, 450,000? Right there, you've made $200,000 profits. So
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest because it's been something that's been on my mind lately. I think that people are too bitter. I mean, like, there's a lot of people on the earth, as we could definitely tell. Is everybody going to be a glowing star? No. Is everyone going to be a top singer? No. Even if you try really hard, are you guaranteed to succeed? No. But you know what? That's the thing, though. Like, deep down inside, when your life is worth more than the sum of your parts, or you're just like, in your working environment, you're like, I want to do something else. This isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life.
yeah,
This is not the end of my story. This should be just a brief chapter.
yeah.
And I think that people are just super bitter and angry, and it's like, well, that's something you have to figure out, because if you're happy with your lot in life, you shouldn't be mad at someone else wanting to pursue a dream that makes them happy. Now, I would be on the camp and be like, hey man, you're broke on your ass and you haven't done anything and you haven't been paying your bills or doing your fair share, then yeah, I would, like I said, put on your big boy pants and fucking get a part-time job at least to pay your bills.
In some cases, it's not that simple. It's not that easy.
No, that's true, but I'm also saying in the case where, some people think that they're above that.
Right.
Like, they wake up and they think, like, no, I'm only going to be an influencer. It's like, well, no, that's not how that works, sweetheart. The world isn't going to wait
Unless
for
you're
you
on TikTok
to be a successful... No, not even then. Like, you still got to work towards it, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but a lot of
people are
people
entitled.
get TikTok famous.
That's what I'm
really
talking about.
fast.
I'm kidding. I'm talking about, like, entitled
Oh,
people
yeah,
that,
I get
like,
it.
I mean, there's two types of entitled people. There's entitled people say, I don't want to work a crappy job because I believe I'm greater in life and I could do something more with my life.
Of course.
And then there's people that says, like, oh, work is beneath me. I can't do
Well,
anything. I want someone to do everything for me. That's where...
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying is that, like, there's people out there who think that they're above work, so they don't think they should work at all.
Right.
They don't have, like, a goal or dream or aspiration. They just don't think they should work at all. And then there's the other who says, no, for example, Kurt Cobain was a fucking janitor.
Yeah.
And then later he
Wait,
became a lead singer of a
what's
great
wrong with being
rock...
a janitor?
Nothing.
No, I'm putting into perspective. If, he left being a janitor and still became a fucking musician. That's what I'm talking about.
One thing I will say,
Not-
with your former point, one thing to at least take this as a ironic, like, to your point, that people, like, are enjoying right now, that big corporations like McDonald's, retail stores like Macy's, that are really struggling to find employees, because who wants to work customer service when even the
Fucking
people who what was it, people who dang it, I had a brain fart. Oh yeah, people who used to work in this prior to 2020, and then they were forced to work in these stores in 2020 because they were quote unquote essentials. They were being treated like garbage. So now
Dog shit,
now
yeah,
they're legit struggling because, hey, we'll offer you this amount of money or this amount of money if you just work for us, because we're really struggling to find people.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't want to work it because, hey,
No.
I'm not gonna do that because I'm not gonna demean myself. Back then, prior to 2020, just to close it up, back to 2020, it's prior to 2020, it was just, you didn't like the job at McDonald's you were working at, go ahead, leave. We'll have 5 other high schoolers who are willing
Exactly.
to take your
You're
job.
easily
Yeah, but
replaceable.
here's another thing to look at. I mean, look at the way that the economy's going right now. Everybody's filing for unemployment, and they're making
not so
about
much right now.
yeah,
compared
but there's still
Well, it's also going to run out
Well,
soon.
yes, but what I'm saying is that when you file for unemployment and you're making an unemployment check, you're literally making 14 I think it was like 1460.
It's like 16.
14. It's about 1460 an hour, and
to do nothing. To
to sit on your ass. Exactly, to sit on your ass.
Yeah.
Like that's all you're doing is just sitting at home,
Right.
quote unquote,
and
applying
the
for
point
jobs.
that's like the point that they're trying to make, is that, like, why the hell should we bother and working for these jobs that don't respect us or treat us
Or
any better
pay enough.
when the government or pay? That's the
Because
point. Like, it's like, what's
McDonald's,
the
I've
alternative?
seen
yeah.
signs outside, and it says $11 an hour plus benefits, and you have to sit back and think, really, like, people are making more money off of unemployment. You're gonna offer just $11?
That's when you realize you have a problem with your economy, when it's
Right,
more
so
better for the people to just not have a job than it is to
Here
work.
is the biggest reason why you should get out of it and to start actually. If someone's offering you 16 an hour, sure, go for it. Even McDonald's is doing that. But the main reason is, to tell you the truth, is inflation, because a lot of people are taking and not putting back into the system. But that's an economic issue. Yeah. I'm sure we're not going to go too much into it because we don't have that much time either. But all I'm saying is that, yeah, it is what it is because people are receiving more just for doing nothing. But at the same time, the federal government's going to say, hey, you got to be, at least, you got to submit evidence that you're looking for a job. And it says, hey, you gotta have you'll be looking for 5 jobs, something like that. So it's not gonna be smooth sailing for everyone, for the most part. But all I know is that people don't want to work because it's not that they don't want to work. It's because they don't want to demean themselves. They don't want to lose their self-respect because, hey, I just need to make minimum wage in order to afford food. I'd rather just not do that and just take unemployment. So. Yeah, it is what it is.
Plus, you're making more money instead of making minimum wage. I mean,
right.
There's two sides to the coin.
Everything. I can't imagine working retail during this whole masking thing because, like, Jesus H Christ, like the last thing you want to deal with in a fucking retail environment.
Sir, ma'am, please put your mask on. If you don't, I'm gonna have to kick you out of the store. Thank you.
Yes, Karen. Yes, we'll call the cops this time.
No, but even there are Karens who were no masks. And they walked in, and then they say, "Hey, you got to wear the mask." It's like, "No, I'm not gonna wear a mask because XYZ."
Yeah, now
that's
Walmart's
what I'm talking about.
Not mandating masks anymore if you have your
vaccination.
Vaccination. Yep. I don't think you get.
I've yet to been to a place where they asked you that. I mean, I have a card, but like I didn't know those things are not like wallet friendly.
No, they're not. They're pretty big. I mean, I have one too, so.
I'm too lazy.
I carried
a vaccination.
I carry it around in my bag, but it's like I carry it because it was treated as a doctor's note at my job. I never intended to carry it around to show it to people.
That's true. I'm too lazy to get a vaccination.
Technically, that's a HIPAA violation. Anyways, they don't have to ask you, and you're not required to tell anybody what your medical background is.
I think HIPAA doesn't apply to the public. It only applies to people who work in the medical field, not particularly the.
No, it's anybody.
I have to double check
you cannot demand for somebody to show you their medical records. It's a HIPAA violation.
Right. It's not demanding.
You do it
because demanding is use of force. It's a simple transaction where, hey, we have no shirts, no shoes, no service, but hey, you can't force me to wear a shirt. Yeah, you can't force us to serve you because you have no shirt or shoes. So it's not a demand. It's more of like, hey, if you want to participate,
if you want the service, you have to follow the rules.
It's the terms of service. It's really it. That's
exactly. Like that's the thing. Like they may not allow you into the building, but they could, or they could just be like, all right, yeah, congratulations, you walked around like a jackass, got your shit, but we could deny your service.
Basically,
that's
what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll wait and see when June rolls around and see with how the whole unemployment fiasco ends and things like that. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap, guys. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Remember, whoever's listening to this, even to my lovely friends who are with me doing this podcast, remember, hydration check, posture check, make sure everything's right, make sure everything's well, that you're well hydrated, that your posture's correct, make sure to stand around, walk around, because your body is an organ, it is a muscle, you need to keep it moving. If you keep it stationary, it's not healthy. Please drink water. Please be healthy.
No, I'm going to keep drinking piss.
Have you seen that meme? Can't talk right now. I'm making piss.
All right. Well, Kenny, you have something else to say before we go?
Don't take any of my advice as financial advice. Just take it with a grain of salt.
The DKM podcast does not represent anything that our co-host Kenny says. I just want to make that clear.
Throw him under the table. Screw that guy. Throw him under the table.
Yeah, I will. Listen, I will throw him to the bus that Marcos is driving so you could roll him over him. Okay?
I didn't know Marcos was a bus driver now. When did this happen?
Hey, man. I have a Class A license, so get ready.
I'm pretty... Well, I mean, I'm pretty... Wait, doesn't a bus drive the same as a car?
No.
Who says I need a license?
No way.
No, dude. Like,
No? Okay.
I don't know how U-Haul trucks get away with giving like, hey, you have a regular Class E license that anyone can get, but you want to drive a truck without any training or any licenses to prove that you can do it. I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and they go, yeah, sure, go right ahead, go drive my truck.
That's a good legal worker loophole
I
right
don't know
there.
how they did it.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I
they
used to
did it.
drive a 30-foot Freightliner that was required a Class B license, I think it was.
Yes,
And
but
I didn't
see,
have a Class B license, and I was
I
just
just
driving
have-
for a company, so...
Don't worry, guys. I know how to paddle a canoe, so I clearly know how to drive a cruise
There you
liner.
go. But
Well,
even
I mean,
then,
it
I'm
wasn't
just
tractor
saying,
trailer. It was a single box. Like, it was a big old box truck, but it was just all together. It wasn't
But-
separated.
Don't worry, guys. I know how to ride a bike, so therefore I'm classified to ride a
Yep.
fucking tank.
I don't worry, guys. I know how to pedal a bike, so I can drive a car. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
I love it, dude.
All right, so to reverse, I just have to hold the brake. Eventually, then it turns into
No,
reverse, right?
no, you
Yeah,
just
it's-
hit
it's
the
a GTA.
gas. That's all you do.
Yeah.
You just hit the gas as hard as you can, and it'll automatically go in reverse.
Would you believe me if I told you there was that's actually like there are cases where kids think that if you hold the brake enough you'll go in reverse, like because of GTA. Like honestly, because of
That's
GTA.
I used to think
stupid.
that like reversing your car was gonna be like your wheel turning was reversed.
No. Yeah, it's the small things. Honestly, GTA really ruined the a lot of things for a lot of people when it comes to like growing up, but it is what it is.
Yeah, blame video games.
Yeah, video games are bad, guys. Don't play them.
They make you violent. Yeah.
Don't-
Yeah.
Don't
You're-
play them. Enjoy
gonna-
them. And that's
Yeah.
my final words.
All right, I respect that. Well, thank you so much for listening and watching to this episode of the DKM podcast. We greatly appreciate you watching and listening to us. If you haven't yet, join the Discord server. The link is right below or wherever the description is and wherever service you're listening to us. We greatly appreciate your company. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. If you can, the Twitter link is down below. I don't think we have anything else to say, but have a good one. Stay safe and take care. Bye-bye.